As women, we often feel extra pressure to be a superwoman doing it all. Have a thriving business career, keep a clean home, raise the kids, and look good while doing it all. And that extra hustle, well, it can take a toll on our health. I had the chance to sit down with one high-powered female executive who found just that happening, and so she made some changes in her life. But those changes can be an adjustment all on their own, and then sometimes it can be difficult to find your right place. Join me now as we go on a reflection of finding your place.
So I earned my bachelor's in public relations from the University of Florida in 2012, and then went back to pursue my master's in mass communication, graduating in 2016 from the University of Florida. Go Gators! And I've always been a storyteller, so what started in the College of Journalism, I thought perhaps I'd be a broadcast journalist. I always joked that I wanted to be the next Katie Couric. Then I found out that you have to wake up at 3 in the morning and get ready for your day, and I'm just not a morning person. But I guess that passion for storytelling has really weaved through the rest of my career, and so now I have the opportunity to help small businesses tell their stories through marketing and specifically digital marketing and storytelling, also public relations. My background's in consumer products. Where I served as the head of marketing for a consumer product company here in Central Florida. So I definitely have struggled with imposter syndrome my entire life, actually, but especially as I entered the career world and workforce. I think especially for women, it's hard when you're competing against, the old boys club, and how to differentiate yourself in that space. And I think for me personally, I've struggled with it on a daily basis almost. And so my girlfriends and I were in a group, a Trusted Circle group, and we joke that it's called Big Hoop Energy. So we put on our hoop earrings and we tackle the day with big hoop energy. And I think that helps on a daily basis. It's kind of a daily practice to overcome that, where you feel perhaps that you're not as qualified or you shouldn't have a seat at that table. And when those thoughts creep into your mind, I think it's important for women and men, or for any of those who may struggle with imposter syndrome, to really lean in and tap into that big hoop energy and know that, you do deserve a seat at that table, and you do know what you're talking about, and you can add value.
As Kimberly said, the imposter syndrome is real and can affect each one of us. But you know what? That corporate rat race, the daily hustle and grind, can take its toll as well.
So the rat race is very real in corporate America, and I had the opportunity to serve on the ground floor really of some of these startups and enjoy what I would describe as a really, really exciting race. And sometimes that could be exhausting. I actually referred to it as a 100-hour hustle. At the time, I was actually in grad school, I was working full-time, and I had clients on the side for my consulting business. Didn't really leave a lot of free time for sleeping, eating, or family, or any other activities. And so I think, as I consider what's now important in my life, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't enjoy a successful career, but perhaps you will reprioritize in a way that I have, and recognizing that maybe a 100-hour hustle is not the best thing for your mental, physical, and spiritual health. And I think especially in America, there's this culture of the hustle, and it's this hustle culture where we have to do more and say more and send more emails and produce more. And at the end of the day, it's just not, unfortunately, you're running yourself into the ground, and it can lead to burnout, which can negatively impact your mental and physical health. And I'm an open book, so I'm happy to speak freely about how the 100-hour hustle negatively impacted my physical, mental, and spiritual health. I became dependent on Adderall. I wouldn't even be able to get out of bed without it. And then I got pregnant, and so then I wasn't able to take Adderall anymore. And I realized that that was a different pace for me. I didn't have this like stimulant, right, in the morning to get me going. And then completely unrelated, I developed a blood clot in my leg during my pregnancy, and that again forced me to reprioritize my own health and my baby's health. And it was almost like my body was like physically shutting down on me, and perhaps the universe was saying, are you not paying attention to the signs that I'm handing you? And unfortunately, it took several hospital visits before I realized, wow, it's time to really evaluate my career. And I had to take a step away from my career in order to prioritize my health. So I went from the 100-hour hustle to fully nesting at home.
As Kimberly stepped back from the workplace to stay at home with her new baby, she found a whole new set of challenges.
So I think anytime we make big decisions in life, I think it's important to get counsel from mentors, therapists, friends, family, and I really leaned into that support. And I was speaking with my doctor about all my life changes, got engaged, got married, got pregnant, had all those health issues, I quit my job, moved, had a baby, all within a relatively short 12-month span. And as I was sharing this with my doctor, she looked at me and she said, so your life has taken a complete 180. And I took a step back and I said, wow, I hadn't really thought of it like that, but it's true. And it does require some adjustment, a lot of adjustment when you have that many changes happening at once. Again, and that's where it was just extremely important that I prioritize my mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. And I think a lot of times people think, oh, that just means taking a bubble bath. And although I have nothing against bubble baths, I love bubble baths. I think when we really prioritize our health, that means so much more than just taking a bubble bath or getting a massage or something like that. It's taking a deep look inside and figuring out what ways we can make small adjustments on a daily basis to really invest in our well-being. And that's not easy to do.
Change is not easy for sure, and Kimberly has some advice for anyone struggling to find their right place.
Yes, so motherhood has been, to date, my most difficult job that I've ever had. It also pays the least of all the jobs that I've had, but it brings me the most joy, and it is the most fulfilling. And well, my son Beckett definitely brings me joy and brings me hope, and seeing his smile and seeing the world through his eyes definitely gives me hope for a better, more beautiful tomorrow. But on a daily basis, just seeing my friends and family who have endured unimaginable crises or cancer diagnoses or grief and all of these really awful things, and seeing that they have not only been able to navigate through that, but also become stronger and wiser and bolder as a result of their experiences, gives me hope that perhaps I too can learn from this, time in my life to kind of grow and become a better mom, sister, daughter, and friend to those around me as well. So my advice to anyone who might be struggling to find their place is just to kind of look inward, find that truth inside of your heart, and again, surround yourself with people who care about you. So whether that's mentors, friends, spiritual advisors, therapists, those who have your best interests at heart, and take those recommendations. But also at the end of the day, you're going to get a lot of advice from a lot of different people. And I think that's why it's really important to ultimately search inward and listen to your own heart. And sometimes that means making some tough and difficult decisions, but I think it's important. At the end of the day, that's all you have is your health. And it's more important than any paycheck. I think ultimately what I learned, it's not necessarily about being bubbly and happy all the time. It's just kind of like learning to find that inner peace when the rest of the world, whether it's with the baby crying or chaos in the news and our world. It's just being able to kind of be present in that moment and find peace. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're dripping with, bubbles and positivity, but instead just saying, okay, I'm gonna be okay. And in this moment, I am okay. And that has taken a very long time to learn, and I'm still learning it.
I imagine we're all still learning that, Kimberly. And I want to thank her for sharing her story with us and providing a roadmap of sorts for anyone who is struggling a little bit to find their right place where they're most comfortable. Now, this whole video series is focused on mental health, self-care, as well as community. And we're going to explore these themes further at our upcoming art exhibit at Mills Gallery that lasts for the entire month of June. But the opening art reception is on June 1st. I hope you'll join me. I'll be there, as well as many of the people we interviewed. And best yet, a portion of the sales go to benefit Second Harvest Food Bank. That helps out citizens living right here in Central Florida. We hope we see you there.